You check your bank account in January, and something feels off. You didn't go crazy in December. You bought normal stuff, maybe a coat, some gifts, a new phone case. Ever wonder why January hits different? Like you're mysteriously broke even though you swear you were careful. Today, I'll explain why buy now, pay later is basically time travel debt that sneaks up on you, using simple terms anyone can understand. By the end, you'll know exactly why those small payments multiply faster than you realize and what to actually do about it. Here's what's actually happening, and it's sneaky as hell. When you split a $120 purchase into 4 payments of $30, your brain doesn't register, I just spent $120. It registers, I spent $30, which feels like nothing. The payment gets delayed, so the pain gets delayed too. That's the whole trick, and it works every single time. BNPL is designed to make spending feel like it never happened. It's debt that arrives in the future, where future you picks up the tab and present you walks away thinking they got a steal. Except future you is January you, and January you is about to get ambushed by bills you forgot existed. Now do that 3 times across 3 different stores in December. That's 3 purchases totaling $360, but it felt like $90 at checkout. Your brain recorded 3 separate $30 moments, not one big $360 hit. What actually lands in January is a complete mess. 12 separate payments spread across the entire month. You get hit with $30 here on the 3rd of the month, then $25 there on the 9th, and another $35 on the 15th. They don't arrive together, so you never see the full picture until your account is suddenly empty and you're eating ramen wondering what happened. Here's where it gets wild and completely intentional. The total is hidden on purpose by every single app. Afterpay doesn't show you what you owe on Klarna at all. Affirm has no idea you've got payments stacked up on Sezzle. Each app lives in its own little universe, and none of them want you thinking about the bigger picture. It's like having 5 different credit cards and never looking at the combined balance. You just keep swiping and hoping math isn't real. But math is extremely real, and it doesn't care about your optimism. This matters because the average BNPL user has accounts with 3 different services at the same time. That means 3 separate apps, 3 different payment schedules, and 0 visibility into the combined damage. And here's the part nobody warns you about, ever. Returns don't always cancel payments immediately like you'd expect. You send something back, assume the payment plan disappears, and then, surprise, you still get charged. Some services keep billing you while they process the return, which can take weeks. So you're paying for something you already mailed back, and the money just sits in limbo. Even worse, some companies require you to manually contact them to stop the payments after a return. The refund might show up eventually, but you're floating that money in the meantime. If you returned a $200 coat, that's $50 per payment you're covering out of pocket while waiting for the system to catch up. For people living paycheck to paycheck, that's gas money or groceries disappearing into a processing black hole. Now add late fees into the mix, and it gets worse. Miss one payment because you genuinely forgot it existed? That free payment plan suddenly has a $30 late fee attached. You thought you were paying $25 this month, right? Nope, now it's $55, and it's due immediately right now. And if you're late again, they'll stack another fee on top. It's like ordering a $10 sandwich and getting charged $40 total because you picked it up 15 minutes late. But you definitely signed off on in paragraph 9 of the terms you didn't read. This matters to you because BNPL doesn't feel like debt. Credit cards feel like debt. You swipe, you see a balance, you feel guilty. BNPL feels like a payment plan, like you're being responsible by spreading it out. But it's still borrowed money, plain and simple. You're still spending cash you don't have yet, period. The difference is the guilt got removed. It's debt with better marketing and a friendlier app interface. The psychology here is intentional. Companies spend millions designing these apps to feel effortless, painless, and consequence-free. They know that when something doesn't hurt, you'll do it again, and again, and again. And life gets busy. You're juggling work, errands, appointments, trying to remember if you fed the cat this morning or just thought about feeding the cat. Payment slipped through the cracks. You miss the alert. You forget which day it hits. Suddenly you're overdrawn because a $28 charge came through on the same day as rent, and your buffer was $22. Now you're paying an overdraft fee on top of the BNPL charge. and the $100 sweater you bought 6 weeks ago just cost you $180 in fees and stress. That overdraft fee is usually $35, which means a single forgotten payment can trigger a $63 hit to your account in a single day. So here's the fix, and it's not never use BNPL again, because that's not realistic. Do a 10-minute BNPL audit right now. Open every app. Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, Sezzle, whatever you've used in the last 3 months. Write down 3 things for each one: what you still owe, how much each payment is, and when it's due. Don't estimate. Don't guess. Write the actual numbers. You need to see the total damage in one place because these apps will never show you that. Put those due dates in your phone calendar with alerts 2 days before they hit. Not the day of, 2 days before, so you can move money around if you need to. Treat it like rent or your electric bill, not like a suggestion. Because that $30 payment isn't optional just because it feels small. Now here's the rule, and yes, people will argue about it in the comments. If you can't afford to buy it twice right now, you can't afford to put it on BNPL because that small payment isn't just $30. It's $30 that you're borrowing from next month's rent, next month's groceries, next month's gas money. It's $30 that future you has to come up with while also dealing with whatever surprise expense February decides to throw at you. And if you're stacking multiple plans across multiple stores, you're not just borrowing from next month, you're borrowing from the next 3 months. Think of it this way. If someone asked to borrow $120 from you today and said they'd pay you back in 4 installments over 2 months, you'd want to know they could actually cover it, right? You wouldn't just hand it over and hope for the best. BNPL is you lending money to yourself, except you're also the one who has to pay it back, and you're doing it with money you haven't earned yet. BNPL isn't evil. It's not a scam. It's just a tool, and like any tool, it works great when you use it intentionally and terribly when you don't. The problem is, it's designed to feel like free money. It's designed to hide the total. It's designed to make you forget you owe anything until the charges start piling up like landmines in January. The companies behind it aren't doing this by accident. They make money when you lose track, when you miss payments, when you stack plans without realizing how deep you're in. To recap, BNPL delays the pain of spending, so your brain never registers the full cost. 3 purchases become 12 separate payments that hit throughout the month, not all at once. Returns don't always stop payments immediately, and you might float money for weeks while waiting for refunds. Late fees hit hard when life gets busy and you forget a charge, sometimes stacking overdraft fees on top. The fix is straightforward. Do a 10-minute audit, list everything you owe, set alerts for due dates, and see the real total in one place. Use the rule that'll make people mad. If you can't afford to buy it twice right now, BNPL is probably borrowing from money you actually need next month. So here's the real question. If BNPL makes purchases more accessible, but also makes it easier to spend money you don't actually have, are you using it as a tool or is it using you?